Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We're away in the caravan at the moment, and there's a little job that I wanted to do, and it's to do with the control system for the Alde wet central heating. So what it is a few months ago, well, a long time ago for one of the YouTubers, but Dan Trudgeon done a little fix on his Alde wet central heating controls, and that was to fit one of these little boxes. Now what this does is you've got I've got here somewhere, all right, so they're over there, two AA batteries which go in this, and the control cable which fits to the back of the Alde wet central heating control system. Basically what it does is it just keeps all the memory within the actual control system once you switch yourself off from the mains. So it's just basically for the memory. You know, you haven't got to keep setting the clock and the date and everything like that. So it's just, I mean, it's a simple little thing, but it makes a lot of difference. So I watched Dan Trudgeon do this. It's a few years ago now that I watched Dan do it. And I also remember that Martin the Caravan Nut, he also did it as well. I watched his about a year ago, I think it was, and I also watched it again the other day because he left a link in the description for the place where he got his. Now, I did use that link. I also had a little scout around and I found it £2 cheaper. So I went for the £2 cheaper, Martin. So you have to forgive me. But anyway, I've got it. It came in the post, bought it with me, and I thought I would do it while I'm here. So there's no better time than a present. So anyway, let's take the front cover off the controls and we'll see exactly what there is behind the controls and how we fit this on. All right, so these are the controls. This is the Alde 3020 control system. And as I'm led to believe by looking at Dan Trudgeon and also Martin the Caravan Nut's videos, mainly Martin's actually, because his is, his is like this in his caravan, the same as ours, that you take that front silver panel off, and then you're, I think behind ours as well as what was on his, is that you're left with 4 little screws. You undo them screws, and then I think it was the top left hand corner, as you look at the back of it, there's like 2 little prongs, which is where this fits on. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, that little white plastic bit there, that fits onto that. Focus. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So let me get that front panel off and then we'll start from there. All right, so the only thing I don't have with me, I'm going to turn the power off. So the only thing I don't have with me is a trim tool, so I'm going to have to use a screwdriver. So it's just literally just to take that corner and then just click that off there, click that off there and there. That's it. Okay, so them little buttons come with it. That's part of that outer casing. Now I have got a small little cordless screwdriver which belongs to Sarah. So we're going to use that just to undo these screws. Okay, so that's the little screws out of the way. So we'll just take this off, bearing in mind that it is all actually now disabled. Take this back cover off and we can have a look to see exactly what we've got. So on mine, which is a little bit different to Martin and Dan's, this has got 4 of them prongs, 4 little connectors. So I assume by looking at that they all do the same. So we'll use B1 and that should oh, here you go. Right, so I haven't got to. So on the back of that, if that will focus, the first one is the battery backup. If you can't see that properly, I will put a picture in the video now. But the first one is the battery backup. So we can get along and do that then. So all we've got to do is just undo the little cable that holds all this together, and then we can actually install that. Now I am colorblind, but there's no chopping of wires or anything like that at all. It literally is just a matter of putting that little connector on if that will focus. Yeah, there you go. So putting that little connector on. So let's do that now. So there's the back of that. Oh, upside down. All right, so no batteries in the actual connector yet. So we just slide that on. I think that's it. Hang on, let's just make sure that's right in. Yep, that's it. Right, that's right home. I don't know if that has to, oh, that has to go in that little sleeve there. Let's just do that again. Right, there we go. So that's on there. So what we also get in the pack is we also get little Velcro strip. So we put that on the inside, same as what Martin had. He had a little Velcro strip. So we'll take one off. And what we'll do is we'll put that one on the back of the actual battery backup on there. Right, so let's install the batteries and then we can stick that in the back. But like I say, it is only a battery backup. I've got sausage fingers, so I'm going to try and get my hand in there. Right, okay, so that's on there. So now we've got the backing, which needs to go back on there. So that's upside down. So that goes in there. Excuse me if you can hear other voices. We've got people moving into us next door on another pitch. So you'll probably hear some other voices. So that just clicks on like that. The wires go in there. That goes on there like that. Oh, it's come back on. Oh, I must have switched it on. Okay. Put these screws back in. Right, okay, that goes back on there. There you go, that's all back on. We'll turn that back on, Alde 3020. And now what we'll do is we'll go in and we'll set the timer, or the actual time. So the time now is 1:15, and that says 1:15. It's a Friday, and that's Friday. And so we can have it showing all the time, or we don't have to have it showing all the time. So we'll turn it off because we want to obviously conserve the battery. So that's all set now. So hopefully if I switch that off from the main power, everything will basically, once it powers down, this should still be going and it should keep it all in its memory. Right, so hopefully that'll work. I can't obviously check it now because everything's still live. But what I'll do is obviously when we take the caravan back to the storage yard, everything will be powered down. And we can make sure then whether that is definitely keeping hold of the memory for the time and the date and everything. So, you know, that will hopefully be the end of me having to keep, putting the timer on, the clock on and the date and everything. Because what I didn't realise is that this actually does have that facility. But it wasn't until I looked back at Martin and Dan's videos that I realised, yes, I could probably do the same thing with mine. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link in the description down below. I assume that all Alde wet central heatings with that system, the same as Dan's as well. And I'll leave a link for both Dan and Martin's in the description down below. Dan's was a bit different because his was an older caravan at the time when he done it. I think he had a Luna. So yeah, it was a different system. Mind you, thinking about it, I think Martin had the same system as well. I might be wrong. But anyway, it's worked on ours, hopefully, and yeah, that's a good little fix, I think. Anyway, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and me and Sarah will see you very, very soon in the next one.